And when your entire identity is a performance, the lines eventually blur. This is what the industry rewards: loud personalities, simple answers, shocking claims. It doesn't have to be true. It just has to hit a nerve. The Liver King just got arrested in Austin, Texas, after allegedly making terroristic threats against Joe Rogan. And no, this isn't an Onion headline or one of his ancestral marketing stunts. He filmed multiple legitimately unhinged videos, pacing shirtless, running on all fours, screaming about vengeance, and now has a restraining order against him from Rogan, which prevents him from coming within 200 yards of the podcaster.
I'm picking a fight with Joe Rogan. I'm picking a fight, I am, because it's out of principle. And I don't know if you heard, but the after party, I'm inviting Joe Rogan to my house. Joe Rogan? With Joe Rogan, that's Joe Rogan, bro. Just invite me on. I actually challenged Joe Rogan to a fight. 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm trying to pick a fight with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, guess what? You're dead. You're dead. You're dead.
This isn't just a meltdown. It's the logical final stage of a $3 million a month plus supplement empire built on raw liver, lies, and a fake Natty persona that never knew when to quit. Let's break down how we got here, from primal tenets to police reports. So what the f*** happened here? According to multiple reports, Liver King, aka Brian Johnson, was arrested in Austin after making what police called terroristic threats towards Joe Rogan. The threats came in the form of Instagram videos. And I say videos plural because there were several where he ranted shirtless, claimed betrayal, and at one point literally ran on all fours while shouting about revenge.
I'll see you tomorrow. 192. Probably about weight the same. Probably you're taller than me. I'm a bro. I'll be ready whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready. If you were to take a picture of this, what do you see? Technology? Technology. Why do you go to sleep? Well, when do you go to sleep? When you're tired. Maybe I'll sleep when I'm tired.
One post even tagged Joe directly, calling him a coward and saying something about reclaiming dominance, which is not exactly how restraining orders get avoided. Now, if you're new here, I'm not just some guy reacting to fitness drama. I've been in the supplement industry for over a decade. I run a contract manufacturing company that makes products for hundreds of brands, which has given me some interesting behind-the-curtain moments over the years, including here. I know how this industry works, inside and out. And I also run this channel where I break down supplements worthy of their hype, the ones that aren't, influencer scams, and wellness industry nonsense. So yeah, this whole situation, right up my alley. Because this story isn't just about a guy losing it on camera. We've seen that plenty of times. It's about a multi-million-dollar business empire built on a lie. And what happens when the character you created becomes more powerful than the real person underneath. But let's rewind for a minute. A few months before this meltdown, Liver King starred in a new Netflix Untold. And for the first time, we got a glimpse of the man behind the beard. Spoiler, it wasn't all primal bonding and bone marrow feasts.
What'd you bring?
My soul, my body.
I want you to take a minute.
The doc quietly revealed what anyone in this industry could have guessed. The ancestral lifestyle was mostly for the camera. His wife and kids seemed exhausted. The vibe was less ancestral tenets and more hostage chic. Turns out, forcing your family to cosplay as cavemen for social media might not lead to long-term emotional stability. Who would have thought?
Huh? We're the Liver King family, a real king, a real queen who's kind of scared. Kind of scared. Striker over here is kind of scared. Dad's getting arrested again. We've already been through it once. The first time, do you remember what I said?
This contrast between the primal warrior on Instagram and the awkward reality at home wasn't just cringe. It was a warning that the character was starting to leak into real life. And when your entire identity is a performance, the lines eventually blur. So why Joe Rogan? Why is he the focus of all this screaming and shirtless vengeance? Well, because in late 2022, this guy, Derek, from More Plates, More Dates, exposed the Liver King's steroid use with leaked emails, receipts, and a full forensic takedown. Pretty sure the NSA doesn't have this level of documentation on actual terrorists. And when that went viral, he ended up on Rogan's podcast to talk about it, which gave the story mainstream reach.
Now that we know that he's full of shit, we're talking about the Liver King, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know. I think most people could see through it, but at the same time, he would... Like, there was a lot of big names that even reached out to me after the video came out, and they were like, you know, I didn't think he was natural, but this guy literally right to my face would say, like, blatantly, I am natural.
The Liver King myth didn't just crack, it exploded.
Primals, I'm making this video to apologize. Because I f***ed up. Because I'm embarrassed and ashamed. Because I lied. And I misled a lot of people.
Now, Liver King eventually admitted it was true, that he was spending over 10 grand a month on PEDs while preaching about the benefits of testicle consumption. But even then, he framed it as something he had to do to help people. Not, you know, a multi-million-dollar deception. And ever since then, the narrative in his world has been, I was betrayed, I was targeted, I was sabotaged by fake friends and the mainstream media. Instead of, you know, taking responsibility for being a liar with an HGH budget the size of a huge mortgage. So now, in his mind, Rogan and Derek aren't just critics, they're villains. Enemies of the ancestral lifestyle, primals. And apparently, worthy of legal threats. Now, here's the part most people don't realize. Liver King wasn't just a meme. He's been running a supplement empire, with Ancestral Supplements, his company, reportedly pulling in over $3 million a month on Amazon alone. That's not affiliate link income. That's not ad revenue. That's organ meat in capsules, sold to tens of thousands of people a month, all because a very loud man told them it would unlock their inner barbarian. Look, I know this world. I may have spoken to an agency that helps market his brand. They were proud, and honestly, they should be. They created a juggernaut by turning a sweaty, shirtless guy into a wellness icon. It's just that wellness turned out to be kind of a strong word. But unfortunately, too often, this is what the industry rewards. Loud personalities, simple answers, shocking claims. It doesn't have to be true. It just has to hit a nerve. And to be clear, the problem isn't that the Liver King sold supplements. It's that the entire brand was built on a lie. The fake Natty status, the curated family cosplay, the ancestral truths that somehow always pointed to a $49 bottle of freeze-dried pancreas. That is the problem.
Talking to people like More Plates, More Dates, and Vigorous Sleazeball and Joe Snurl, man, who tried to attempt to direct a lie that they called the untold truth about a man that knows the truth, that's articulate enough to say, hey, you fake, you're actually the fake ones. We're just going to make people pay that deserve it. Not many, 3 of them mainly, or 4. In case you didn't know, I take on the ground. This is where I lay in the shower. I lay here on the ground. That's my enema bucket. That's my enema bucket right there. And that's what I'm about to do, is I'm going to try and get a worked out.
By the time these meltdown videos started rolling in, it wasn't even clear where Liver King stopped and Brian Johnson began. The character had taken over. What started as a performance became the default setting. Because when your brand is built on being larger than life, louder, tougher, more primal than everyone else, you don't get to just stop. You can't quietly rebrand. You either escalate or you disappear. This wasn't a marketing gimmick gone too far. It was a man trapped inside a character he created, surrounded by yes men, fueled by millions in supplement revenue, and incapable of stepping away without the whole empire crumbling. And yeah, it's easy to laugh at a guy running through a hallway on all fours, blasting coffee enemas, being on the floor. But this is what the fitness world rewards. Not health, not honesty, just the loudest guy with the most insane hook. So no, this wasn't just a breakdown. It was the logical conclusion of an industry that rewards this behavior. One that asks you to build a brand so powerful, so viral, so inspiring, that you forget that you're still human underneath it. I'll be honest, when I first saw the headlines, I laughed. And then I watched some of the videos he was posting, and I changed my tune pretty quickly. I don't take any joy in watching someone spiral like this. I've seen people I love and care about in manic episodes. It's incredibly scary. Mental health is real. Fame is a hell of a drug, and the wellness world doesn't offer much of a safety net when the mask slips. But if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Most of these people are selling you a story, a lifestyle, a carefully curated fantasy. And sometimes they believe it so hard and get rewarded enough to keep doing it until it breaks them. So yeah, maybe let's skip the testicle capsules, friends, and don't take health advice from someone who hasn't blinked in 48 hours. If you want more no BS deep dives into supplements, what's actually worth your money, and what's just influencer fluff, subscribe. I make videos like this every week for people who don't live and breathe supplements for a living, but still want to know what's worth their time and what's just noise. Occasionally, I'll cover influencers like this too, because spotting the nonsense is just as important as spotting the good stuff. Thanks for watching Bottom Line. I'll see you next time.